Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to Nighttime with Nina. I have another story for you, and this is actually by an actress that some of you might recognize. Her name is Lupita Nyong'o, and she was in Black Panther. She also has voiced some characters in some movies. She's been in a whole lot of awesome movies. So if you don't know who she is, you should definitely check her out. And she wrote this book called Sulwe because as a child, she was treated differently than other children because of how dark her skin was. And you know from what we've talked about in church school before that the reason people have different shades and tones in their skin is because of the amount of melanin they produce. And we also know that throughout history, people have been treated differently, and people with less melanin have received more privileges than people with more melanin. And there is nothing that is a reason for that happening. It is discrimination and racism and colorism. But so Lupita Nyong'o wrote this book to talk about a young person finding beauty in the skin that they're in. So here we go. Our story for the day is Sulwe. Sulwe was born the color of midnight. She looked nothing like her family, not even a little, not at all. Mama was the color of dawn, Baba the color of dusk, and Mitch, her sister, or Mish, I think, was the color of high noon. So here's Sulwe. There's her mama, her Baba, and her sister. Hardly anyone at school looked like Sulwe either. People gave her sister Mish pet names like Sunshine and Ray and Beauty. People gave Sulwe names like Blackie and Darky and Night. Sulwe felt hurt every time, so she hid away while her sister made lots of friends. Those names are never okay for a person to use to describe somebody else. Never okay. Sulwe dreamed of being the same color as her sister. She wanted real friends too. And here she is dreaming of what it might be like. So she bought the biggest eraser she could find and tried to rub off a layer or two of her darkness. That hurt. She crept into Mama's room and helped herself to her makeup. Oh no, she would hear about this from Mama. Sulwe decided to work from the inside out and ate only the lightest, brightest foods. With a stomachache, she went to bed early and turned to God for a miracle. Dear Lord, why do I look like midnight while my mother looks like dawn? Please make me as fair as the parents I'm from. I want to be beautiful, not just to pretend. I want to have daylight. I want to have friends. If you hear me, my Lord, and would like to comply, may I wake up as bright as the sun in the sky. Amen. Poor little girl. When Mama came in to wake her for school the next morning, Sulwe rose to find not a trace of daylight in her midnight skin. Sulwe told Mama everything. Mama asked, "What is your name?" "Sulwe," she muttered. "And what does it mean?" "Star," Sulwe whispered. Brightness is not in your skin, my love. Brightness is just who you are. As for beauty, Mama said, rubbing Sulwe's stomach the way she always did to comfort her, you are beautiful. Sulwe sighed. Well, you are beautiful to me. But you can't rely on what you look like to make you feel beautiful, my sweet. Real beauty comes from your mind and your heart. It begins with how you see yourself, not how others see you. Now up you get, and out you go. How could she, as dark as she was, have brightness in her? How could she have beauty when no one but her mother seemed to see it? How could she be a star? That night, a shooting star appeared at Sulwe's window. "The night sent me," the star said. "Come with me." Sulwe hopped onto the star, and off they went. Long ago, at the beginning of time, said the star, there was night and there was day. And they were sisters. Can you see the sisters, night and day? They loved each other very much. But people did not treat the sisters the same. Lovely, nice, pretty were the pet names that Day received. People gave Night names like scary and bad and ugly. She felt hurt every time. Well, Night got fed up and walked right off the earth. Day stayed behind and enjoyed making everybody happy in the sun. But then Day grew too long. There's no water, there's just endless heat, and all the plants that were so lush are starting to die. Day began to really miss her sister, and so did everybody else. There had to be a way to get her back. Day sent off to find Night, and she did. I really miss you, said Day. I miss you too, said Night, but you don't know what it's like to be treated badly for being dark. You're right, I don't, Day replied, but what I do know is that we need you just the way you are. Come and see. Night returned and the people rejoiced. We need the darkest night to get the deepest rest. We need you so that we can grow and dream and keep our secrets to ourselves. The stars chimed in. Brightness isn't just for daylight. Day comes in all colors, and some light can only be seen in the dark. While day had a golden glow, with night everything had a silver sheen, elegant and fine. See how many things you can see in here that glow in the nighttime. There's candles or lights in the houses on the hilltop. There are stars. There's fireflies. There's the sparkles from the waves. There's bioluminescent jellyfish and bioluminescent coral and the beautiful moon. There's so many things that we need that even provide light and sparkle in the nighttime. Day told her sister, when you are darkest is when you are the most beautiful. It's when you are the most you. Could it be that Night did not need to change? Not even a little? Not even at all? Now that Night and Day were back together, a little bit of Night returned to Day in the form of shadows, and a little bit of Day returned to Night in the form of moonlight. They were inseparable from that moment on and promised to celebrate the brightness in each other, whether people chose to see it or not. You see, the star explained, we need them both on their sunniest day and their darkest night, and every shade in between. Together they make the world we know, light and dark. strong, and beautiful. Sulwe rose the next morning, beaming. There would be no hiding anymore. She belonged out in the world, dark and beautiful, bright and strong. And if she ever needed a reminder of her brightness, she could look up at the sky on the darkest night to see for herself. Sulwe felt beautiful inside and out. And this is the author's note from Lupita Nyong'o. Much like Sulwe, I got teased and taunted about my night-shaded skin. I prayed to God that I would wake up with paler skin. I tried all sorts of things to lighten my complexion. My mother told me often that I was beautiful, but she's my mother. Of course, she's supposed to think that. It wasn't until much older that my feelings about my skin changed. It helped to see darker-skinned women being celebrated for their beauty. If they were beautiful, I could be too. I began to see myself differently. While both Sulwe and I had to learn to see our beauty, I hope that more and more children begin their lives knowing that they are beautiful, that they can look into the beauty in the world and know they are a part of it. And yet, what's on the outside is only one part of being beautiful. Yes, it's important to feel good about yourself when you look in the mirror, but what is more important is working on being beautiful in the inside. That means being kind to yourself and kind to others. That is the beauty that truly shines through. The journey I went on was very different from Sulwe's nighttime adventure, but the lesson was the same. There is so much beauty in the world and inside you that others are not awake to. Don't wait for anyone to tell you what is beautiful. Know that you are beautiful because you choose to be. Know that you always were and always can be. Treasure it and let it light the way in everything you do. Here's the beautiful back page. And one more time, here's little Sulwe. And here is the author. So I really love this book. It's something that people still struggle with. All over, people are still judged for what they look like. People are perceived to be more or less beautiful depending on how well they fit in with what society says is beautiful. But every day we get to see more and more people in the media, on the news, in our schools that show that there are so many ways to be beautiful. And differences are something to be celebrated, not something to be smoothed over. We want to celebrate the differences. We want to celebrate that we aren't all the same, because the differences are what makes us beautiful and unique. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday for another Nighttime with Nina. Have a great week. Bye-bye.